Hello everyone. As I announced a few days ago, I'm going to talk about health, and we're going to wait for a few minutes until people will come up, and I'm going to start. As I promised, I'm going to talk about health and the gift of health. I didn't know how to put title here. I'm going to put it in a waiting for people to come up. If you have comments, please comment it. I'm going to, whatever I will be able, I will be responding during the live. And I will also I know how to share information here. And also, if you can comment on what topics do you want to hear, I'm going to put my address for the information for the YouTube channel that I have, that I'm posting videos on, so you will be able to follow it. Okay, where I will be posting most of the videos, where I have been posting already most of the videos that are important. I'm going to put it in the channel, in the comments. Okay, I put it in the comments, the address for the YouTube. Please tell me if you can hear me well. Whoever is online, please tell me if you can hear me well. I will be starting in a couple of minutes. Okay, so let's start. As I promised, we're going to talk about health and the gift of health. And why is it important now is because it's more important this year, because everyone was stressed because of COVID. Everyone was out of place because we were forced to work from home a lot more than we were doing that before. And a lot of places were closed. A lot of places we couldn't have as much fun as we could have fun. And how fun is important is a stress releaser. So if we can't go to the park and walk, we can't release that stress. We can't release that extra stress, especially that we had because of all the information that was coming in. And it's very important to release stress. One thing that I want to accent on today, concentrate on today, is how do we release stress and why is it important? So imagine people of old that were running from a lion. They were not thinking about how to sit under the bush and, I'm sorry, poop, right? They were thinking about how to run away from that lion. And so in medical terms, it means that their cortisol level was increasing. And the stress, that's a stress hormone. So we have more stress hormone when we are in that kind of situation. And because we were running from all the things that were happening mentally, we were not able to release all that we don't need, all the toxins, all the everything that body is releasing when it's in normal condition. So that's why it's very important to get that stress out. One of the ways, and of course one of the ways, is to be in nature. I will be talking a lot more about the solutions to that, but I also want to talk about, before we know what's happening in the body, we need to, a lot of symptoms can tell us what's happening in the body, but there are also, that's why in medical community there are tests, there are indications of what's happening in the body compared to other people. That's why we're using a lot of tests, a lot of information about a person. It's not only about mental condition of a body, if of the person that comes to us, it's also physical problems that they're incurring. And depending on what we see, and we evaluate the whole body, we evaluate all the habits also, because habits are telling a lot about what is happening in the body too. There are also tests that would tell us a lot about the body and its condition at that moment. And then we can compare. That's the benefit of having tests. And then you can also see, one of my preferred ones is thermography, of course, and I do thermal imaging a lot in the office. We do a lot of that, and we do, I love doing it because it tells about the body and condition of the body a lot more than any other tests. And the other benefit is it's a lot earlier than other tests. I can compare, for example, on the oh, let me see if I can show you. I don't know how to show my files because I have a file, but it's okay. Maybe I can do it this way. I was hoping I could show a file, but I don't see an option for that. Okay, I can show like this into the camera. Okay, so I hope you can see it well. Yeah. So here we can see this is average information on the average information on cancer, for example, and how different modalities are able to show it to us. So for I'm trying to put it closer to the camera. Okay, like this. So you can see that by the time ultrasound and mammogram are able to show anything, because the tumor needs to be 0.5 centimeter in size for it to be able, for those modalities to detect anything, any tumor, it needs to be 0.5 centimeter in size. And it already has here billions of cells, as you can see here, and it's 7th year after the tumor started growing, after 1 cell became 2 cells and it started growing. So it's in 7th year. I'm not saying those tests are not necessary, especially ultrasound is a very good test and it shows a lot, it shows the problem. But if it shows in the 7th year after it started growing, what if we can see anything in those 7 years and be able to prevent it from happening? So that's where thermography comes in. We can see it in, if you can see it here on in the 2nd year, here in the 2nd year, and after it started growing, after 1 cell becomes abnormal and it starts growing, In 2 years, we're able to see, but we're not going to see tumor. Tumor is not there yet. What we see is the blood vessels accumulating in that area. And because blood vessels are accumulating, it starts accumulating in that area, and we see that the amount of blood vessels is growing. How we see that? We see it by the heat that is increasing in that area. So when we see all of that, we know that something is cooking there, and comparing it to other areas of the body, because even cancer doesn't happen by itself. It happens with a lot of other areas, with a lot of other issues that body has. For example, I'm going to put it away because I don't think we need it. Another thing that I wanted to mention is, why do we need even to wait for for it to start growing, for one cell to start growing into two cells? We don't need to wait for that, because the cancer, on average, breast cancer, is happening in a 20 years time range, meaning that when it starts, from the point of start, there are processes happening in a body that bring to developing of cancer, and it happens in 20 years. So if we can catch things that are happening there in 20 years, then we're able to, let's say, if there are 10 things that are happening and we remove 8 of them, these other 2 that are left are not going to grow cancer, that are not going to bring to cancer. So this is what's happening, and this is what we're concentrated on evaluating, seeing the, I can't share my screen because I thought I would be able to show some of the, interesting, on YouTube it gives the, I'm not sure how to do it here. Anyway, maybe in the next lives I would be able to show. But we check liver, for example. Why liver is important for not developing of the breast cancer? Why? Because most of the breast cancers that we have today, they are estrogen dominant, and extra estrogen is removed from the body with the bile that comes, that is associated with the work of the liver. So if we have damage in that process, in detoxification process of the liver, we're going to accumulate that extra estrogen in the body, and that will eventually cause cancer. Again, this one issue is not going to cancer by itself, but compared to other issues, and we were bombarded with toxins from the air, from the food, from the water, from everywhere. So we're not lacking in that. We are bombarded with those toxins from everywhere. So, and if there is one more thing accumulated to that, and another one thing, there are more and more chances to have cancer, to have the cancer develop there. So that's why we are very careful about what we're looking, and we look at the whole body. We look at the body showing what we need to correct, and then thermography comes in that very, very informative on what we can see and what we do with what we see. After what we see here, we're trying to correct the areas. Like I said, if we saw 10 things that are not normal, we're trying to remove as much of possible of them to correct them, and then we have only 2 left. Then that's fine, then it's not going to, and of course we're working on those 2 not being there too. So these are the things that we are trying to do. And now for Mother's Day, we have big discounts for thermography. That's one of the gifts of health you can give to your mom, to your daughter, to your wife, to your sister, to your loved one. You can also get gift certificates for that. And on correction of these too, we have different programs where we can correct, and a lot of women are concerned with weight loss it's not only weight loss. It's not, body doesn't start accumulating weight just by, just by just want to do that. It's not happening like that. It happens when there are a lot of things that are accumulating in the body, and body is not able to release them again. That stress comes in. So of course, it's first issue that we're having is a stress, especially now with COVID, with Armenian community. It's a war. A lot of people get overstressed with that, and then our everyday stresses. We pay bills, we have children, we have issues with schools now, with masks, with vaccines, all of that. All of that is affecting us, and that's why we need to be more careful about all that we're doing, all that, how we look at things, how to distress. And I will be doing videos on that. If you want, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, where we're going to be continuing this topic, and write on whatever you want me to talk about, so we can continue that, and the topics that you want to listen about. Okay, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for coming in, and have a good day.